Alright guys, welcome to a brand new video. Today I will be discussing the differences between an aluminum and a stainless steel propeller. Now, right here in front of me, I have just an aluminum propeller. I don't know what brand it is, but I could probably look it up if I felt like it, because it has numbers on the side. Now you may notice that I don't have a stainless steel prop next to me, but there is one out there, so yeah, that's a story. So anyway, an aluminum propeller is suitable for when you just bought a boat and you want to figure out what type of propeller that you would like for your boat. Whether it's stainless, well, it'll always be stainless steel. Well, let's discuss the two different environments that you may be in. Now, we are on the bay, which has a pretty much, just a very sandy bottom. There's plants all over the place, but plants would not hurt a stainless steel propeller. And now, let's discuss the facts that will happen if you swear by aluminum and you decide to take that, bedding to the bay. What'll happen is if you hit sand with this propeller, what will happen now, as it turns over, through the sand, what will happen is the propeller will eventually look like this. Now you may notice, whoa, all of the perfect. Yeah, I put LOL on there. I thought it was funny. You may notice that the propeller has signs of wear on it. And now, if you look closely, you would see that there's all like bends and stuff in there. Like right here, because in the bay we've got clams, and clams will like warp the shape of the propeller and it'll just utterly get destroyed. Now let's go to a lake environment. An aluminum would be suitable there, because if you hit a rock that's sizable, because lakes, they've got rocks in them, and if you hit a rock with an aluminum, you would just beat up the propeller and or break it. Meanwhile, with another type of propeller, which is called a stainless steel propeller, what'll happen is the stainless steel propeller will probably take on quite a bit of damage, but here's the real thing that you should look out for. If you hit rocks and things like that with a stainless steel propeller, what will tend to happen is you will do damage to the lower unit of your outboard motor or your inboard motor, or your just, inboard outboard motor. Now, all two types of propellers can fit on all three types of propulsion boats. And my frame. Oh, still in my frame. And all have their advantages and disadvantages. But now let's fast forward to a bay environment. Now remember when I said what would happen to a propeller that would hit sand and stuff like that? You see this damage right here? That is what's going to happen to your propeller if you decide to take it out onto the bay and you hit bottom with it because, look, okay, not everyone has a GPS on their boat. They can't navigate through the deep and shallow areas. Let's face it, you're gonna have to pick between an aluminum, which is pretty much a test propeller, because, for example, I'll show you something. Okay, so now you see this propeller right here. This is an aluminum, and we have it on my father's boat because the prop that came with the boat was not suitable for our needs, as it was letting the engine over rev. We've got a Yamaha 200 4-cylinder variable camshaft timing, and what would happen when you let the throttle go all the way down, even with the propeller all the way down in the water, not trimmed at all, it would start to pin at 6,100 RPM. And what 6,100 RPM means is basically what's going on is the propeller is too small for the engine, and the engine's peak RPM is 6,000, so we're really letting that VTEC kick in, if you know what I mean. And now over here, oh, and by the way, you can see all of that damage that has been done to it, especially if I bring it out here. You can see all that. Yeah, thank God for cell phones. So now let me zoom back out. And right over here, we've got stainless. And now, if you see that, how the front of the propeller is a little bit beat up, this propeller was in Hurricane Sandy. So yeah, we took on a lot of damage from it. And you can see that this prop, we have hit sand tons and tons and tons of times with this propeller, and it still is alive. And the reason why is because, basically, how do I put this? The stainless steel propellers, if you hit clams and sand with it, what'll happen is you'll just give it a nice shining. Now you see how it's not too shiny, as shiny as it could be? That's mainly because the propeller did not hit sand in a while. But you see that this boat is a lot smaller than my father's, like big 22.5-foot boat. It's a Scout. This one's a Sea Ray 18-footer. 125 Merc, by the way. No labels on it because the cowling was also damaged during the storm, so we had to get that repaired and repainted and just redid and everything like that. I personally think the lower unit should also, from the cowling and below, I think should be repainted, but that's besides my point. And you see how the skeg is showing aluminum? That's because that hit, and it's made out of aluminum. I personally think they should be made of stainless, but you know what? There's probably a good reason for it, and I am not an engineer at Mercury, so that basically wraps up just about everything. Oh, except that we only have this propeller on the boat because, like I said, we're getting it tested. I just really want to emphasize that. Don't just go with what the dealer says. Buy an aluminum version of that first, because chances are it's not going to work as good as it could. That's why you want to buy an aluminum, because aluminum is cheaper, way cheaper than stainless steel propellers like that one. That actually came with an aluminum and it's destroyed. I'll have to pull it out of the attic wherever the heck it is. Or maybe that prop that I'm thinking about was over at the table there, but who knows. So that wraps it up for just about everything, and I hope you enjoyed watching. and me just ramble on as I talk about props. You know, if you're on the bay, you see that sandy bottom? Get a stainless. If you're on the lake, I mean, you could get a stainless if it has a sandy bottom, like so. But you're better off just getting the stainless if it has a sandy bottom. But if it has a rocky bottom, let's pretend that dark area that's below the boat is rocky. You'd want to get a aluminum, because aluminum propellers are sacrificial. Meanwhile, the stainless would just continue to try to cut through the rock, and you'll just take out parts and stuff like that. So I hope you have enjoyed watching, and my dad needs a new lift. So I'll talk to you later, and bye.